Namaste. Today is the death anniversary of Dr. Ambedkar ji. Had Ambedkar ji was not there, OBC would not have got the reservation at all. At this juncture, I, on behalf of Syndicate Bank OBC Employee Sangam, pay rich tributes to Dr. Ambedkar ji. You may be interested to know about what happened on 26/11/2020. Actually, before that, Lakshmi Vilas Bank, you may be knowing that its capital was eroded and became negative net worth. As on financial statement dated 31/3/2019, it ended with about 15,000 crores losses, and 31/3/2020 about 24,000 crore losses become negative net worth, and they were not able to pay any payment, and so government announced moratorium. Moratorium means postponement of payment for some time by the government. Subsequently, Reserve Bank of India was asked to prepare the amalgamation scheme, and subsequently Lakshmi Vilas Bank was amalgamated with DPS Bank India Limited. Similarly, the same thing happened with the public sector bank, New Bank of India, in the year 1993, when its capital was fully eroded and became negative net worth. They were unable to make any payment to the depositor. Government announced a moratorium, and Reserve Bank of India prepared the amalgamation scheme, and that scheme was placed in the parliament, and subsequently, as per the parliament approval, New Bank of India was amalgamated with the Punjab National Bank in the year 1993. So, Honorable Supreme Court, in case of New Bank of India versus Union of India, categorically held that if it is whether it is a private sector bank or public sector bank, only if the capital is eroded, only if they are unable to pay their depositor and declared under moratorium, they are eligible for amalgamation. And the difference between a private sector and a public sector is, as held by Honorable Supreme Court very clearly, that for public sector bank, the amalgamation scheme prepared is to be only placed before the parliament, whereas for public sector bank, the amalgamation scheme prepared has to be placed in both the parliamentary house for 30 days, and after the parliament approval or modification, or if the parliament rejected it, it will not come to the operation. Only the parliament has the sole authority to implement the amalgamation scheme. Whereas now you know that State Bank of India, its subsidiaries were amalgamated with State Bank of India, but none of the subsidiaries were weak or their capital was eroded. They are very sound capital subsidiaries. And also Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank, they are also sound capital public sector banks. They were amalgamated with Bank of Baroda, and also 6 public sector banks, namely Oriental Bank of Commerce, United Bank of India, Allahabad Bank, Andhra Bank, Corporation Bank, and Syndicate Bank. All the 6 public sector bank amalgamated were sound capital public sector bank. There is no necessity for them to amalgamate. Whereas they are better banks. For example, Syndicate Bank parameters were, out of the 5 parameters, 4 parameters better than Canara Bank, but Syndicate Bank was amalgamated with Canara Bank. So they are not eligible for, as per Honorable Supreme Court judgment, as per Banking Company Acquisition Act, they are not eligible for amalgamation, but the government has forcibly, compulsorily amalgamated them. So it is illegal. We have argued this before the Division Bench of Madras High Court on the date 28th October 2020. Whereas I was arguing, and government lawyer Sri Sankaranarayanan sir was arguing that amalgamation scheme was placed in the parliament. So the court passed an order that the amalgamation schemes placed in the parliament should be produced, and also the parliament proceedings should be produced within 2 weeks, and fix the date on 26th November 2020 for further hearing. But unfortunately, 26th November 2020, there was heavy rain and cyclone, and government declared holiday, and because of that the court was not there. And now we have given a letter to bring a listed for earlier hearing, and it is likely to come at any time. We are ready for that. But what I am requesting you is, at least at this juncture, we should awaken. What has triggered us, though in 2017 State Bank was amalgamated, 2019 Bank of Baroda, 1/4/2020, 6 public sector were amalgamated with 4 public sector. What has triggered us to file the case and came up for October 2020? You may refer the Times of India interview by the Finance Ministry dated 2/9/2019, wherein the Finance Ministry has categorically held that the impact of staff due to rationalization of branches will be redeployed in other branches. That means amalgamation of public sector means closure of the branch, and the staff due to closure of the branch will be transferred. But we are thinking on a different direction. If branches are closed, then employment loss will be there, it will be affecting downtrodden. So to confirm this, we issued an RTI query to State Bank of India, and as per the State Bank of India reply, we found that about 2018 branches were closed, and there was a loss of about 13,000 employment. Then we made a deep study with RBI data and found that about 3,799 branches were public sector branches were closed, and there was a loss of about 30,000 employment. If 30,000 employment means 50% reservation means about 15,000 will go to SC/ST and OBC. When 15,000 will go to SC/ST OBC, then another 15,000 will go to governing class. So by closing public sector bank, it is a loss for a governing class also. So we made then why they are advocating for closing a public sector bank and promoting private sector branches. Then we made another in-depth study in which we found that when the public sector branches were closed, about 3,799 branches, about 10,000 private sector branches were opened. 10,000 private sector branch opens means about 60,000 employment for a governing class, because there is no reservation for SC/ST and OBC in a private sector bank. So it is a bumper lottery for them. When they are losing 15,000, they are getting about 60,000 employment. Then another point is, if you go through the history, if you have happened to read the article in Times of India dated 30/8/2019, wherein they have categorically said that before nationalization, the entire private sector banks were in the hand of governing class, and they are having a more economic power. Only to take away the concentration of economic power with the governing class, then the government of India nationalized all the big private sector banks. So the objective of nationalization was to distribute the economy to the peoples of India and to prevent the concentration of economic power with a few or a group of people. But now again they are opening many 3 times public sector closed branches, they are opening 3 times the private sector branches. That means it will increase the economic power of the governing class. They are in an advantage position and it will increase their economic power, and it is a disadvantageous for a downtrodden. It will be reducing the economic power in such a way that the downtrodden rights and liberty is at the mercy, and also downtrodden has to work as a slave at the mercy of a governing class, and this will lead to modern form of slavery in India. So we should not allow this to happen. So we started working on that. Letter dated 18/11/2019. We have sent a letter to Prime Minister and Finance Minister with the heading Public Sector Bank Merger is to murder social justice. We have sent what are all the disaster that is going to happen to downtrodden by public sector branches closures by way of public sector amalgamation. We have not received any reply. Then we visited Delhi in December first week and second week. We have visited Delhi along with all the office bearers of our OBC Sangam. We met many member of parliament and we also discussed with them what is the disaster that is going to face downtrodden. They have agreed to raise the issue in the parliament, but nothing has happened. Then again we tried January, February, March to raise the issue in the to lodge a legal writ petition in Madras High Court. We have met we met some senior lawyers, but it was not materialized. Again, 24th March 2020, Corona lockdown started. Then it became impossible for us. Then I have decided we will argue the case on our own, but there is a limitation. Actually, 1996 I argued a case in Kerala High Court as party in person, and 1998 I argued a case in Chennai High Court as a party in person. But now I am a heart patient. I am very much worried whether such a heavy pressure my heart, whether I can able to withstand. But something you have to do for the society. So I put the blame on the God and Almighty as a shield. I started working on that and I started preparing the writ petition. And not that I alone involved. My office bearer also involved. And one of the office bearer, he has worked hard. He has helped me. He has sacrificed. He has clarified many points. He also gave very good points. And his intelligence and brainstorming make the petition a pakka one. And we have, after 3 months, April, May, June and July 11th, we filed the dated, the writ petition is dated 11th July 2020. We filed the writ petition in Madras High Court. And after filed the writ petition, about it took 4 months for screening in the Madras High Court. They started asking query after query. By the time we answer one query, we expect another query only. So many clarifications, so many alteration. Alteration means 4 writ petition we have to change. It took a lot of time. We are using our own printer, and we were not ready to give it outside. We want to keep it as a confidential. And finally, even after got the writ petition number, I was asked to produce some more document. Finally, it came on 28th October 2020. I argued the case. So, what I am trying to say before is, so it has posted for further hearing on 26th November 2020 because of the natural disaster that was declared holiday, and it may come on any time. What I am trying to say is, Banking Regulation Act is violated, Banking Company Acquisition Act is violated, Honorable Supreme Court judgment is violated, Payment and Settlement Act is violated, Competition Commission Act is violated, and compulsorily and forcibly, illegally, the public sector were amalgamated. Why? Because there is no accountability concept. I once again placing before you that if we are able to work as a society, if we are able to work as a OBC as a society, irrespective of caste, greed, religion, state and language, definitely we are sure that we will be ahead of them in all the field. I once again request you to be a subscriber for Indian Backward Voice in the YouTube. I once again pay my tribute to Dr. Ambedkar ji. Once again, I thank you very much.